What's up, people? I got the same shirt on. News. So I leave Lubbock Saturday at 10:30 at night. I got the gig that we were talking about, 45 cents a mile company, and that gives me a chance to see how they run. My headhunter said they normally run about 3,000 miles or more a week for solo drivers. So I have to see how that works out because I was doing at my past company about 25 to 2,800 miles a week. I do not run all of the U.S. It looks like I'm running everything from California to Arkansas and from like everything below the Oregon level. So like Utah, Denver, Arkansas, whatever's in between. I'm probably New Mexico and some of that. So I'm running all of that, Texas, and like I said, so that I'm happy about. And they even have a yard. Well, they have a drop yard in Phoenix, is what I just found out today. It's more than what the beef company was paying. Hallelujah. So I get 45 cents per mile. It's not a big company, which is another thing. Some of the things I learned from Pride, I do like the smaller company feel because it's more personable. So hopefully, if it's a good company, that's who I'm going to end up doing my lease purchase with. We'll see. We're going to see. And they actually have my healthcare company that I have insurance with. I'm with Aetna. They have my Aetna insurance. So I can stay with that. That way I keep my doctor. So all of that I'm really loving. Very excited about it. And yeah, I head out here. They gave me the option to head out Friday night and to be at the hotel on Saturday morning, or to head out Saturday night and be there Sunday morning. I decided to go ahead and head out Saturday night because I wanted to make sure I had all my clothes done, everything packed up, get my little room that I'm in cleaned up as best I can because it was already not all that neat when I got there with all my dad's boxes everywhere. Let him know that I'm leaving. And then she said I just let my driver manager know who I get, that I need to come back through Lubbock to get one of my bags and to get through Phoenix to get my rest of my trucking gear. So very much like how I had with Pride. I just let them know I need to get home and get some stuff done. And they arranged the load. They got me through. And they gave me I think I had a day or 2 days to get my stuff together. So hopefully they'll give me a day or 2 days to go get all my stuff. I'm just going to tell them I need to just pass through Lubbock, pick up a bag, pick up a few things that I left here, and then keep it pushing. But the first part of the orientation is in Texas. And the second part of the orientation is in Oklahoma. So I have a feeling I'm doing my driving test in Texas, which I'm very happy about because I cut my teeth in Texas. This is where I really learned my driving. I started with Werner, and my first drive was from Phoenix to El Paso, or Phoenix to Dallas. And then I got stuck in Dallas because I had really horrible trainers. I went from Dallas to Colorado and back to Dallas. I got stuck in Dallas waiting for my trainer, the female trainer from Werner, to come pick me up, and she was coming out of New York. So I got stuck there for several days. We did a lot of driving around Texas. So Texas to me is, if you guys are newbies, to me Texas is one of the better states to learn how to drive a truck. You got hills, you got curves, you got turns. You got like the hill country, which I got to drive. You got a lot of different types of roadways. Texas also has some very good roadways. It's very truck friendly. But you have traffic, and you get into the traffic in Houston, Dallas, Austin. You got to run into things that will get you prepared to go into other states. Then you want to go and learn how to really drive in traffic. That's going to be your California. Really, I think Cali's probably the best place to learn how to drive in traffic. And then you can bridge into Chicago and some other places. But if you can start in Houston, you'll be semi-ready for Cali. Because Cali got to be balls to the walls in Cali. Especially Southern Cal. Northern Cal, not so bad. So I love driving. Northern Cal, I don't have a problem with. Southern Cal. So I leave out of here Saturday night, people. So God's good. That's the good news. 45 cents a mile. Talked to them and told them I was looking at lease purchase after I do my lap band. She said that shouldn't be a problem. And I think the lease drivers, with my experience, will come in around $1.10, something like that per mile. They are per mile and not percentage of load, but the headhunter says she's got people who are lease purchase ops with them who are making very good money per mile, and decent looking equipment. I've seen their equipment, so I know she just placed somebody who got a Peterbilt. I think Peterbilt. I can't remember what year Peterbilt he got. Name brands. So here's my thing on trucks. My favorite truck interior is Volvo, hands down. Interior. My favorite driving truck used to be Freightliner, except it shakes. But they also used to have a decent interior. The new one, I don't know, it's a little different from what I've heard. I've driven a long nose K-Dub. I've driven a Peterbilt before. Peterbilt's okay. What I didn't like about Peterbilt, I'm a short female, and Peterbilt stuff is high up. I also noticed that because I am short, reaching the pedals was hard, but I guess they can adjust the pedals up. So that's the thing I didn't like about Peterbilts. I don't know, I haven't been in one in years. And I have been in a KW before, which to me is also made like a Peterbilt. So, but I haven't been in one in a while. The long nose, I don't know. I always like the look of the inside of the KW, but we'll see. And I think they have mainly a KW fleet, but they must have just started adding Pete's. Like I said, I'm not Pete. The name doesn't matter to me. I want a good, solid truck is what I want. Something that ain't breaking down all the damn time. And Freightliner, even though it's shaky freight, that truck, it's a workhorse. It's usually, they tend to have a workhorse. The one that I'm not a fan of, although the drive was nice, was International. International has too many mechanical issues. Woo! And a lot of cheap-ass parts inside of it. So, that's International. Excuse me for swearing. I'm trying to, God, I'm sorry, because I'm trying to work on it. I've been doing a lot better. I needed that break, but I also need to get away from my dad. Really big. Y'all have no idea. Anyway, so he's got to go, and he's still in delusion. So, like, he does the big boy pull-ups, and he's in that line. That line is driving me absolutely batty. He does the big boy pull-ups, and what he wants to do is tell me, I told him, I said, you need to get, because he still has leaking, but he's not having to go through so many, because he's going through $1,200 a month worth of these things, because all he would do is just sit there and pee in those. And he has what they call real fit. They almost look like regular men's briefs. But the problem is they don't have the absorbency that he needs for his problem. But he doesn't want to put the ones on that are like Pampers that are really thick all the way around, which is what he needs. So he's sitting there with wet spots on his pants. I'm like, bro, you need to get, well, this is the most absorbent. I said, for the real fit. I said, but you don't need real fit. You're going to have to go to the ones that have the higher absorbency because of your issue. It's all mental. It's all mental. And I'm just like, wow. It's amazing to me that down there is so, it's like God, it's like your golden ticket for some males. And that's the difference between a male and a man. Because I was in the grocery store and there was this man in a wheelchair. He had his catheter bag in between his legs. He's shopping. He's very independent. And I was like, that's a man. Because he's man enough to deal with his stuff, not sit in the house, not go out because he's ashamed of what his situation is. He just owns it. A man owns his shiznit. Own your stuff, fellas. Own it. And get some respect. Because I respect somebody like that. I'm not judging him. I respect the fact that you have a health issue and you own it. And you're not here, trying to hide it because you're worried about what people think. Or you're so insecure with your own thoughts about what a male is. Own your crap, people. But anyway, this isn't about that. That's a rant. So, yeah. So, it's a go. And I'll be out. Still haven't heard from UPS truckload yet. So, that might be something in the near future. I don't know. I'm going to roll with this ball right now, see how it goes. And this is why I tell you guys, always have a lot of options. If one thing, I'm thinking one way, if that falls through, here's another option that came on the table. This company, though, they did a Roto-Rooter background check. Because she had me signing a whole bunch of releases. And I was kind of nervous. I'm like, wow, this is so much stuff. I wonder if they're going to be persnickety. And then she called me today, says, you're approved. And so I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, I don't want this video to be long. I'll take you through some of when I get to the hotel, and I have the bus right out of here, and then I'll let you guys know. So, only thing I got to do, I don't know if I got to do the backing test and the driving test. Not too worried about driving. Backing, I should be okay unless it's some crazy behind back. But I haven't driven a manual in a while, so, I'm trained on a manual, so I can drive a manual. That's about the only concern I have, is that I have to, and I'll just have to, preferably it's a 10 speed. I'm going to drive it like a 10 or a 9, so it's just going to have to be what it's going to be. But preferably it's a 10 speed. Or an automatic. If it's an automatic. But if it's, actually for the backing test, I don't mind if it's a manual. But I'm going to be honest in front of them and say, look, I haven't driven a manual in several years. But, you know, let's do this. So we'll give it what we got. But I think my driving test is going to be in Waxahachie. And then they send us over, they shuttle us over to OKC for the last 2 days. So one day, and I think that one day is going to be physical, backing, driving, and then go from there.